If I hadn't paid any attention to the offseason after the Dodgers won the World Series, if I hadn't paid attention to any of the storylines in spring training of 2025, and if I hadn't watched any baseball since the start of the 2025 regular season, and you were to tell me that Mookie Betts was going to lose 15 to 20 pounds from being deathly ill, that Freddie Freeman would slip and fall in the shower, hurting his ankle and missing significant time to start the year, also that Roki Sasaki would only accumulate 8 2/3 innings in his first 3 starts combined, boasting a walks per 9 of 11.4, also being seen crying in the dugout, if you were to also tell me that Tommy Edman was going to be the team leader in home runs through 10 games of the season, that the team leader in WAR was going to be Will Smith, and that Shohei Ohtani wouldn't throw a single pitch in spring training or the regular season thus far, I'd be like, all right, Dodgers are probably not doing as great as everyone thought they'd be doing. However, I'd be completely wrong. They have started the year so good. They started off 8-0 and look incredible. Starting off with Mookie Betts, yes, he lost a ton of weight due to being deathly ill, but he has still played a majority of the games, and he's hitting over 300, and his OPS is almost 1,000. So that's clearly not an issue so far. Freddie Freeman's only played 3 games, but what has he done in those 3 games and 12 at-bats? Oh, just hit 2 home runs and 4 RBIs, OPS plussing at 197, OPS over 1,000. And I know you would think it would be a bad thing that Tommy Edman would be leading the team in home runs thus far, and I would agree. But he has 5 already. 5 homers for Tommy Edman. You know what his career high is? His career high is 13 in 2022 and 2023, and he did it in 479 at-bats in 2023. He's just had over 40 at-bats this season, and he already has 5. Talk about a steal of a trade. And I mentioned Roki Sasaki only putting up 8 2/3 innings over 3 starts, but his ERA is 4.15. He struck out 9, and his FIP is 4.67. Yeah, his whip is scary, but he just came over from Japan this year. He's 23 years old, and I mentioned him crying in the dugout, but that just means he cares. He's a young kid in a new country surrounded by people that don't speak his native language. Yes, he has friends in Ohtani and Yamamoto on the team. That helps a lot, but he's still in a strange land that he's not used to. And I don't want you to think I'm knocking Will Smith for being the team leader in WAR. He's a very good player, very good catcher, one of the best in the game. But when you have a team with Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, you would think that one of those guys would be leading the team in WAR at this point. And I know it's early. Will Smith is already approaching 1 WAR on the season. He's hitting over 400. His OPS is right around 1,200. His OPS plus has got to be around 225, 250 right now. He's having an insane year. Not only are those guys playing well, but you got Teoscar Hernandez with 4 homers already. You got Michael Conforto, who's done nothing but hit since he got signed. You got Blake Snell, who's already started off hot, just a 2 ERA through 2 starts. And you know Blake Snell, he never starts this well early on. If he keeps this up through May, you know he's winning the Cy Young because he's going to shove in the second half like he always does. Yamamoto looks incredible so far, better than last year, and he was great last year. Through 3 starts, a 1.69 ERA, 19 Ks through 16 innings pitched. Fantastic. We all know what Tyler Glasnow can do. He looked incredible against the Braves in his start. You have Dustin May, who just came back, and he looked absolutely filthy against the Braves. And let's look at who the Dodgers have played so far. They played the Chicago Cubs over in Japan to open up the year. They swept them. A lot of people think the Cubs are the favorites in the NL Central, so they're not really an easy team to sweep. Granted, it was only 2 games, but then they'd go on to play the Detroit Tigers, who were a playoff team last year. What would they do? They would sweep them. They would then go on to play the Atlanta Braves, who've been absolutely putrid thus far. Let's be real here. But a lot of people still think they're a good team, and the Dodgers swept them. So right there, that's an 8-0 start. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it 9-0. They would drop a game to the Phillies, losing 2-3, but they only lost by 1 run. And the Phillies are a great team. They'd beat the Phillies the next day, 3-1. They'd go on to lose the series on Sunday, though. But I think we all know why they lose this series on Sunday. We all know that the stock market has not been in a great place the last few days. And there's someone in the Phillies lineup who loves to take advantage of unfortunate things going on in the world, at least when he's on a baseball field. I think we all know who it is. Nick Castellanos. He would hit a grand slam in this game with 3 of those earned runs charged to Tyler Glasnow, and we should have seen it coming. In fact, if I was the Phillies manager, I would have seen it coming. I would have been leading off Castellanos for the last couple days. There's no doubt in my mind he'd have 20 RBI in a series. So this leaves the Dodgers 9-2. So even though they dropped this series to the Phillies, what I'm really trying to get at is that they're 9-2 and it doesn't even seem like they've hit their stride. Shohei Ohtani's been doing well, but he hasn't been doing as well as he was last year or maybe even the year before. And I can only really say that just because what he's done the last couple years has been something we've never seen before. So that is already hard to top. Freddie Freeman hasn't played more than 3 games, and you know he's going to come back strong. He always does. Max Muncy has gotten off to a horrible start, but you know he's going to turn things around. Mookie Betts is just going to keep on keeping on. I don't think there's anything that can stop him. No matter what happens to him, he's always going to to hit. Teoscar Hernandez looks like a real force at the plate this year. And Will Smith, he's been good for several years. He's made an argument the last several seasons that he's one of the best catchers in the game. And on the pitching side of things, you know Roki Sasaki has all the talent in the world. He's going to figure things out. Yes, Glasnow got roughed up in his second start, but we all know what he's capable of. Plus, you have Blake Snell, you got Yamamoto, you got Dustin May coming back. I mean, that top 5 is ridiculous if everyone stays healthy. Plus, you got a great bullpen. Kirby Yates had a great year last year. You got Blake Trinan back. Landon Knack's in the bullpen. Alex Vesia is really good. Tanner Scott, one of the best lefty relievers over the last several seasons. That's not to mention you still have Clayton Kershaw. Yeah, he's not the prime Kershaw that we all know of, but when he's on the mound, he's still really effective. And I mentioned in the beginning of the video that Shohei Ohtani hadn't thrown a single pitch in spring training yet, or the regular season, but that's because he doesn't have to. Look at this pitching depth. I know it's been a long time since he got that internal brace procedure done, but there is no reason to rush him when you have pitching like this from top to bottom. There's just no need to rush things with him, especially if everyone stays healthy. So the Dodgers look like they're pretty much inevitable right now. They're 9-2. They look incredible. Their only 2 losses have been to the Phillies, who are a great team, and each of those losses has only been by 1 run. And you can attribute one of those losses to the stock market crashing and Nick Castellanos taking advantage of that. If this is their floor, they are a crazy team, and it's possible that they can come for the Seattle Mariners record of 116 wins. Granted, that's not their goal. Their goal is to win the World Series 2 years in a row, which would be the first back-to-back in this century. So I don't even think they care if they break the wins record, and they probably shouldn't. The 01 Mariners broke the record and they didn't win it all. But the thing is, the Dodgers don't have to care, and they can still break the wins record.